Okay, what's up, everyone? This is Aoki's house, and this is a special 1 hour episode where I'm interviewing my good friend Felix Cartal. His first single off his upcoming album is coming out December 13th. It's a huge record, one of my favorites of his, and it shows a new direction of his sound. The song is called Don't Turn On the Lights, featuring Paulina. And we have him here in the studio, Felix Cartal. What's going on?
Hey Steve, how's it going?
I'm good, man. We're just, constantly on the road. You know how it goes.
I know. I've got to go out this weekend as well. So
Where are you going this weekend?
I understand. Saskatchewan and Alberta. Those are both Canadian provinces for the U.S. folk out there who don't know.
Saskatchewan. Now
It
that's
doesn't even sound like a real place.
yeah. I love city names like that. It's really cool. So let's get to the let's talk about this single here, Felix. Like tell the world what you got cooking.
Yeah. So first single for my record, as you said, "Don't Turn On the Lights," and it's featuring Paulina. She's a amazing vocalist on. She's worked with Ultra Records a lot, and I just basically came up with this really kind of epic sounding chord progression that I thought, like a really big room sound, and I thought with a vocal it could really just push it to a new direction, and we gave it to Paulina, and she just killed it. Like, one of the best vocal takes I've ever heard. Barely had to change anything. It was like right off the bat, and then so it kind of was an easy process,
Yeah,
Those are the ones that are the best, right? The ones that come out naturally are the best ones.
she's definitely she can write top lines. She has an
Yeah.
amazing voice. She's very fast to work with.
Yeah, the turnaround was insane.
Yeah, she's just like an all-in-one package kind of vocalist you want to work with. I've worked with her a few times actually, as
Yeah.
well. So she's awesome. The song is stunning. It's just incredible, and we're gonna be playing that later in the show, so you guys can get a sneak peek of the song. That's gonna come out December 13th. First single off the album. So let's talk about the album.
So the album is called Different Faces, and it's sort of the way I kind of thought about it is it's a different side to me from my last record. So it's a new face to the record, to my sound, I guess. But it's not so different that it's a completely new direction. It's just kind of exploring different faces of what I'm into lately.
Very cool. No pun intended.
Maybe the pun is a little bit. So it's kind of just a mix of vocal, like catchy vocal tracks, and then mixed with like my harder, like still my harder sound. And I'm just kind of always trying to find that balance between the pop world and the club world, and the album that you can listen to on your iPod, as well as when you're out at the club on the weekend or at the gym or wherever you are.
What other featurings do you have on the album?
I did one with Miss Palmer. She's on your track No Beef, and I did one with New Ivory. They're a band on Dimac, and that one turned out really cool. It's like an indie vibe, kind of like really like aggressive edge to it, but still super catchy. And then with Cassette Kids, that's the other one. They're this band from New York, and I think New York and LA, the members. And it's just kind of a nice song. It's not a club track per se. It's just kind of a nice song to listen to kind of iron out the flow of the album.
That's awesome. And I think, talking with the Dimac team, we have a really nice plan to release all these singles that will lead to the album release. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's sort of the ADD generation right now out there, and people want content like that. So we're really going to push to have 3 singles out before the record comes out in April, and just almost do a single every month starting in December. We got a big remix for the first single. Laid Back Luke's going to do one, and that sounds amazing.
Well, he's a genius. He is one of the geniuses out there.
He's a quick worker too, and it's amazing.
Yeah, when he knows what he wants to do, he can bang it out in a few hours. Actually, I've seen it happen in front of my face. It's incredible producer.
Those are the best producers, right? The people who can just make it happen, just like that if they have to.
Right.
And then we got have an instrumental single coming out second called Domo, and then the third single is the Black to White featuring Miss Palmer. So a nice balance of vocal and instrumental, something heavy, something catchy, a little bit of everything.
All right, everyone. I am interviewing Felix Cartal about his brand new album coming out in 2012 and his huge single dropping December 13th of this year on Dahlback. The cover is really cool with Don't Turn on the Lights. It's a black and white photo of a pretty girl holding a red balloon. Very indie looking. Like, talk about that.
Yeah, I basically just wanted something really simple. Like, it was sort of, I just had this idea. I'm like, I'll just have a simple red balloon, black and white, very easy like imagery to get into. And I'm gonna start filling the parties I play at with red balloons everywhere, and we're gonna bring it as like the theme for the record. So I'm also starting a Facebook album where if you want to support the record, just tweet at me at Felix Cartal, AL, not EL at the end. And hashtag different faces and send a picture of yourself with a red balloon, and we'll add it to the album, and we'll just create sort of a community online.
Fuck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Felix.
I'm gonna be the first one, Steve Aoki, holding a red balloon.
That's what I want to see.
Hell yeah. Here is the brand new single, Don't Turn on the Lights.
Hold my hand. In the mix on Electric Area. In the mix on Electric Area. Sirius XM.
All right, we're back. We're back with Felix Cartal. His new album's coming out in 2012. His debut single, Don't Turn On the Lights, is coming out December 13th. And here we are live with Felix Cartal. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I found out about Felix Cartal. Back in 2008, I'm not sure if Jesse from Mastercraft or someone told me about Felix Cartal, because around that time, like 2006, 2007, I was, you hear about music from your friends. Your friends are the ones that tell you about the new artists that are on the rise. And I heard this track called Montreal Dreams. And I was like, who is this guy? He's writing this heavy sounding electro, but completely unique. And it's just got this new edge to it. And it was always one of the big records of my set, and one of my secret weapons. You always have those secret weapons that no one knows about, and I'd always pull that one out. We'll play that later through the set. And there's another record that I would always close my sets with, and this is like maybe I was still closing my sets probably in 2010, 2009, and this is a remix by Felix Cartal of Dragonette, and it's a mashup of his record with Nirvana, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. So it just was the perfect pairing for my kind of crazy sets. So Felix, let's talk about your birth, your kind of growth into all this crazy music, and your second album. You already released a debut album that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so basically I played in bands my whole life growing up, and then once my last band broke up, I sort of turned to software to just sort of keep creating music for myself on the side. And I guess I started posting on blogs almost before the blog thing was cool, like before it kind of got all blown out of proportion like it is now, where, where you could keep track of like 10 blogs, and that was pretty much where all the music was coming for DJs. And
what were the blogs? Just to name a few.
The early ones were like Disco Bell, Flow Kids, Disco Dust. Disco Dust was like, those were the guys that helped me out the most in the beginning. And they just posted like a track I just randomly sent the guy, and it got a shit ton of downloads in a month. And then I would start to hear my songs being played by other DJs when I went out, which was so crazy for me because I think I was about 18 at the time, and I'd never even DJ'd before.
And how old are you now?
I'm 24 now. Man, 6 years flies by.
That's nuts.
And Jesse from Mastercraft was one of like the earlier supporters who, of like a DJ that I looked up to, and I mean, Death from Above was one of my favorite bands when I was younger, and to have, Mastercraft supporting my music, and I'd never even met them before, was unreal. So yeah, he came to Vancouver one day. They had a show, and we met. And then he just was kind of like, "I like your shit. I'm gonna help you." And he did. He introduced my shit to you.
That's right. That was the start of our friendship, and all this music that's coming out there.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why we all sort of connected, because we all kind of have the band background. We like. We're supporters of all types of music, not just, we didn't come up in the club scene, per se.
We have similar backgrounds. As I'm a punk kid at heart, growing up in the hardcore scene, being in bands by the time I was 16, learning all the instruments and playing rudimentary chords, but nonetheless playing music like that. And then, that's, I guess it is that affinity. We share that affinity. And when I listen to your music back then, it's got so much of that element in there. You could hear it. You could hear similar riffage, and in sound, and even the synths, like the way you've tuned your synths, to sound in like more tonally like it's a harder edged kind of band.
Yeah. Well, I always think that like punk music and DJing like are comparable in the sense that you can really tell when the audience is liking what you're doing, and I feel like that's not the case with a lot of music.
Right.
But you really get like feedback from the audience when they're pumped on you, and that's, I think, the similarity between punk and dance music that maybe a lot of people don't think about.
Here is the Felix Cartal remix of Green Velvet's Armageddon. I put this on my I Love Techno compilation last year. It was a staple of my set. Let's talk about what you produce on.
Right now, I use Reason. That's been my best friend from day one. Kind of like I've been there since Reason 1.0 or whatever. And and Pro Tools now. So I just kind of run everything through that to polish it off. So it's pretty simple. Like I'm basically just off an iMac with a MIDI keyboard. I'm like, I don't like to overcomplicate things.
And are you using the latest versions of Pro Tools, or are you sticking with a version you're familiar with?
No, I'm still on like an earlier version just because I hate updating software in the middle of a record, because then I feel like I'd have to go back and do everything over again.
Yeah. When I have a story, when I worked with Armand Van Helden on Brat, we worked in his studio, and he uses Pro Tools, and he has a version that's probably hasn't been updated in over 10 years.
Really?
It's incredible. I mean, he's producing the biggest dance records consistently over the decade and plus more years off a system, based from 10 years ago. It's and because it's not the system that creates the music. It's the person, No,
and I mean they all do the same thing. They still organize sound. It's the carpenter, not the tools.
Exactly. I love that way of thinking. There's people that spend tons and tons of money on studio equipment, thinking they're going to write these big records. But the day and age that we live in now is a true telling that you don't need that anymore. You don't need all this stuff. You can work right off a computer and into headphones as your monitors if you need to.
That's how I did headphones for 4 years. And my ears have hated me ever since.
You have your own website, and you you help out a lot of young producers, and you're there. Like I love that. Like, I love how Laid Back Luke has his forum. He talks to young producers, gives tips and trades. Like let's break that down. You do the same thing as well. Like, you want to talk about your process and how you help out these producers.
Yeah, I mean, I would always get maybe a production question, maybe, one or two a day almost at some point on MySpace for a while when we still use that website. And I thought, why don't I just make it sort of like a public entry on my blog and then just refer everyone to this so they can read it. So I kind of just got in the habit of breaking down my singles that were more popular. And I think everyone is always interested in that because, you hear a song that you like and you think it's going to be this insane, mind-boggling process, but sometimes it's just simple and that's what makes it good. But sometimes you do something that's really kind of weird with the program and people are going to find that little, like, trick you've developed, like, quite cool. So,
yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like I was fortunate enough to have, producers I looked up to help me, so if I'm helping people who like my stuff, then that makes me, I'm happy to do it.
Is there any producers that you've helped out that ended up writing a record that you loved and you play out?
Yeah, this guy named Clockwork, the first I heard of him, I think he entered one of my remix contests, and we just kind of kept in touch since then, and he would always send stuff to me, and I'd try to give him as much feedback as I could, and now, he's producing stuff that I really enjoy playing. And I think the biggest one for him was he did a remix of Swagger by Dem Slackers, and I play that all the time. It's an amazing track.
And you know what? Actually, we're releasing his single next year called Squad Up on Dimmock. So, and it is a slammer. It's an amazing record.
He's got a really good ear, man. He nice crisp bass lines, just like really nice clean production. But it's great, good stuff.
Yeah, really good stuff.
time the stars come out, you light me up, you chase the clouds. I think about this every time the stars come out. 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 Every time the stars come out.
All right, Felix, so you tour around the world, the shows get out of hand. Like me, we both use computers to play out. With all the alcohol and, water and liquids around, how do you keep your computer safe from all that? And tell me a disaster story.
Well, I have one actually I guess it was 3 weeks ago in Phoenix. And usually I'm pretty good about keeping people out of the booth that, look like they've had a couple too many wobbly pops or whatever. And, but literally this guy was dancing in front of me on the dance floor, like with his drink, like in the air, like fist pumping with it almost. And he literally like chucked the drink into the booth on my computer. And I've never had that happen before, because usually it's somebody in the booth like spills a little bit on your computer and you can handle it, but this was literally an entire drink lands on my keyboard.
Oh my god!
Spilled. It's like someone just poured a glass of water directly on me.
Oh god! How far into your set was that?
I think it was about mid-set, and I'm freaking out. So I like there's a DJ on before me, and I'm like, put a CD in quick. So he throws a CD in, and I'm mopping my computer up with like whatever I can find, my code or whatever. Finally, like I get it. It seems pretty dry, and it seems to be working. So I finished my set, and I managed to finish the set. I was kind of pissed off, but I managed to get through it, and went back to my hotel room, and then nothing. Like no power comes on. No keyboard response. It was terrible. So I don't know. I don't know if there is a way to fully protect the computer from drinks yet. I've seen Girl Talk literally wraps his computer in saran wrap, I think.
Wow. That's a really not a bad idea. That's a ghetto move, but it'll work.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, the saran wrap is good though because it's a tight seal, right? And that's I think what all the other production is missing.
Yeah, I have a little. You could buy these at any Apple store. I think it's like plastic. Rubbery.
I had one of those on,
and it didn't work. It didn't protect it.
No.
Because it just like the water, man. It's just like what Bruce Lee says: "Be like water. You're formless. You're shapeless. You could go into anything. Yeah. You could go through rock.
It finds the nook, man.
You gotta be like water. That's like fucking water is the source. If you could be anything, be like water, because you can get through anything. Yeah. So that's saran wrap is the way to go. Saran wrap is the way to go. I think it's got to be the best way. It's got to be the best way, or just USB stick it up.
Yeah, right.
What's your favorite city in the world?
Montreal.
What's your favorite club in the world?
The Arches in Glasgow.
What's your favorite song right now?
Dynamite by Tao Cruz.
Okay. What's your secret DJ weapon that you play out right now?
This edit I did of Coco by Jan Driver.
Who is your favorite artist right now?
Style of Eye always excites me still.
Who's your favorite animated character?
Felix the Cat. Take that back. I've never actually even seen a Felix the Cat cartoon.
No, that's good though. Not Felix the house cat?
No.
Okay.
Because he is kind of a character.
Yeah. Well, he is a cat. He's like a cuddly cat. What's your favorite thing that you just bought?
Oh, the new iPhone.
The new iPhone 4S?
That's the one.
Okay. What is your favorite gadget?
Right now, my Kindle. I don't know why I didn't get one earlier.
Not your iPad, a Kindle.
I don't have an iPad.
So this Kindle's like a fucking to read books, right?
Yeah, but it's only books.
Okay. What are you reading right now?
Eating the Dinosaur by Chuck Klosterman.
Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Jurassic Park.
Good. That's good. Like you're quick with these. You know it. You've probably been asked these questions before. What's your favorite Canadian city? You are from Canada, so what's your favorite Canadian city?
It's between Vancouver and Montreal.
I think that's good, right? Is there anything else that's interesting?
Let me do you.
Okay. All right.
What's your favorite food?
Okay, Japanese food. I'm keeping it real with my Asianness.
What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
I you know what? I fucking love eating some crazy ass shit, but you know what? I'll fucking eat a cricket right off like Bangkok Square. They sell those things.
That's true.
You know what? I'm just gonna say I ate a cricket.
What's your favorite album of all time?
Gorilla Biscuits Start Today.
What's the 3 things that you need to have with you while you're traveling? 3 essentials.
Okay. I need my electronic toothbrush. I need my molded earplugs. I need my computer.
What's your opinion on neck pillows?
I don't use them. Yeah.
See, I hate that. I feel like that's like people think it's a frequent flyer thing, but I think it's for the amateur.
It's like I need to lean my head back. You can't do that. You lean forward. So.
Window or aisle?
Window all the way.
For sure. I agree.
Lean against that fucking wall. All right, this rounds up the exclusive interview with Felix Cartal and his album Different Faces coming out next year, as well as his debut single December 13th, Don't Turn On the Lights. Fucking awesome interview. Thank you for being on Aoki's house. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. We're going to be playing so much of your music. For everyone listening, don't turn on the lights. Just don't turn them on. And listen to some Felix Cartal.
That's a terrible idea.
Cool.